You think your dating life sucks because of apps? Nah, it's your gut that's swiping left.
We're going live, baby.
We'll do it live.
You're listening to the premier podcast for men who want to not only be better with women, but want to be better men in general. This is the Come On Man podcast. And here's your host,
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer. He is a certified master life coach and NLP practitioner.
It's true. It's damn true. What's going on, guys? I am live streaming from Restream instead of StreamYard. It's hump day. Can I get a sound check real quick? Drop a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear me. I need to make sure everything is good since this is the first episode using Restream to stream the show. And while we're waiting, today we're going to be talking about why size is impacting your dating success. And I'm not talking about the size of your sausage. I'm talking about your waistline. If you're struggling, especially on the apps, then for a lot of you guys, it's probably going to be your weight. It's probably going to be your weight. I know how it is. I used to be 50 pounds overweight once. We're going to get into that. But let me tell you, it's a night and day difference in the amount of matches you get and the better quality women that you can pull when you lose that weight. Not to mention, it makes you stand out. Up to 75% of the population is overweight or obese. And you often hear that the stat that 90% of women are going for the top 5 to 10% of men. So if 75% of dudes are obese, you just not being fat puts you in the top 25% of men. Then add some frame, some game, and you're a hair's inch away from being in that top percentage of dudes. Okay. It's not even that hard. You just need to put in the work. The bar's never been lower, guys. Okay. Before we get into it, hold on. I got to deal with these things here. Before we get into it, do be sure to like, subscribe, hit those notifications. I have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Okay. All right, cool. Let's kick this off. So let me tell you about my story. Right after my divorce, a lot of you guys know this story, right? Especially the regulars on the show. But for those noobs that might be tuning in, I got divorced back in 2014. And I think a big contributing factor to the divorce was me being a fat guy. Okay. We're not at the 8-minute mark. So I was overweight. I was 50 pounds overweight. And I found myself back on the dating circuit. I hadn't dated in 15 years. I didn't know what the hell I was doing for one. And then on top of that, I was overweight. And I just floundered. I floundered for 11 months on the dating circuit. I had maybe a handful of like one-off dates in that meantime, but nothing really panned out. There certainly wasn't any sexual activity during that time. It was miserable. And then I got into the relationship with Red Pill Chick. And during that relationship, she was a little bit of a chubby chaser. Okay. So that was fortunate. But I was sick of looking the way I was looking in the mirror. I did not like it. And so I decided to take my health back. And I started losing the weight. So that was after like the first year of dating her. I at the end of that, I made like a New Year's resolution to lose all the weight. So that was back in 2016. I made a promise to myself I would never let myself get that heavy again. And so I've kept it off this entire time. Then you fast forward 4.5 years to when she and I broke up, and I had lost all the weight, and now I was back on the dating circuit again. And this time it was like shooting fish in a barrel getting matches. Okay. It was way easier. Man, this layout sucks. Okay. I'm seeing ones in the chat. That's good. Nurse, Hands of Pizza's one. Looks like Nurse Chick gave me a 1. So, okay, cool. So you guys can hear me. All right. Sweet. So anyway, so I lost all the weight. I took up running. I was going to the gym all the time. So I had good muscle definition. If you guys want to know like what I looked like when I was on the dating circuit, I have pictures in the paperback and hardcover and the Kindle edition of everything I wish I knew when I was 18. Because there's a whole chapter on dating success in that book, and I show you like some of the profile pictures I had, and I was in pretty good shape. You know, I was giving women tickets to the gun show. You know what I'm talking about? Anyway, anyway, and so I was able to get dates much better. Now, I couldn't keep these chicks around more than 2 or 3 dates, but that's because I didn't have any game or frame yet. Okay. But once I learned all that stuff, it was like shooting fish in a barrel. Okay. But in order to shoot those fish in the barrel, you have to get some matches first. In order to get the matches first, you're going to have to lose some weight and work on your appearance and get better pictures. Okay. By the way, guys, if you're new to the channel, my name is Paul Bauer. I help men level up and get better with women. And the funny thing about doing that is it tends to make us better men, all areas of our lives. Okay. So I sort of alluded to this a little bit, but it was a night and day difference. Night and day. Okay. The only chicks that would match with me when I was overweight were other overweight chicks. Okay. Most of us aren't out here trying to date overweight chicks. And I see this, or I used to see it before I got banned from X, right? But there's an account on there called incel.is or whatever. And it's just a bunch of losers commiserating about how unfair the dating market is or whatever. And the thing is like back when I was overweight and I couldn't match with like the beautiful women I wanted to match with, I was feeling a lot like that. I was like, oh, this is unfair and all this stuff. But the problem was with me and my appearance and my pictures and my weight issues and stuff like that. And so once I took control of that, instead of trying to change all these women out here to like me better as a fat guy, I decided, you know what? Women are biologically wired to like guys that are more physically fit. We're going to get into that a little bit more. So why don't I just lose some weight? Okay. So that's what I did. And then once I did, dating really got much easier, Same apps, same cow pasture area. Okay. Same pool of women. It's just that now all of a sudden I was seeing much better options on the dating apps. Like the dating apps almost like knew that I was a better looking guy because of the types of women that were swiping on me. And that's how it works. Okay. The algorithm works like that. And so it behooves you to take your health into consideration. Okay. Like okay, we're at the 8-minute mark. Getting pussy is a great motivator. Okay. But do it for your health. All right. You being overweight, there's lots of problems with it. We're going to talk about it here. Now, I want to also mention, I've been talking about this guy on the podcast lately because he is just such an inspiration. But there's a guy in Wolfpack right now. He goes by Omega Hashira if he ever shows up in the comments. He's a software developer, so he usually can't tune into to the live shows. But this guy is a perfect example of this transformation, okay? When he first joined the group, he was really overweight. Like I would say, he was probably, I'm guessing 270 pounds. I think he might have gotten up to 300 pounds or something at one point. And when he first joined the group, he posted in the group about how he had this horrible date and it didn't go well. And he was feeling really bad about it. And we started giving him some constructive criticism. For one, he wore a tracksuit to the date like he was some kind of Goomba or whatever. I don't know. And then, he had a whole bunch of anime crap in his car with like half naked anime girls and stuff. And we're like, dude, you can't have all that kind of stuff if you're out dating. You can't do it. Women are judgy as hell. Okay. They're looking for reasons to disqualify you. Okay. Men are trying to match with everybody. Women are looking for ways to disqualify you. Okay. Because they have so many options. They're trying to weed out all their options. Okay. And try to find their best possible option. You got to understand how women date. So we told him, hey, stop doing this and start losing some weight. And so he started working with brother Nathan in the group and they started holding each other accountable. That's how the subgroup, the the fitness accountability subgroup in the Wolfpack started was because Brother Nathan and Brother Omega were holding each other accountable, and then they allowed everybody else into the subgroup. Well, he's lost over 100 pounds. He's still on that journey, but after losing that much weight, he was getting dates all the time. He was posting date updates all the time where he was smashing these chicks. He had situations where he went out with one chick, smashed her, and then the next morning she left, and then he went for like a coffee date and smashed another chick. He completely changed his trajectory by losing weight. Okay, by losing weight. We have another guy in the Wolfpack, Brother David. He's not on the dating circuit, but he's one of those guys that was in a dead bedroom situation, and he's turned his marriage around from losing weight. Okay, it's so important. Okay, but fat, it's not just a physical issue necessarily. It's a status signal. It's a status signal. Subconsciously, it telegraphs discipline, or I should say a lack of discipline, poor self-care, and a diminished drive. Okay. Because if you can't make yourself go to the gym, you're not going to make yourself do other stuff that's important in your life. Okay. And women can't stand guys who are lazy as hell. They can't. This is one of the reasons why women now women also are very solipsistic. You gotta take this into consideration. Women are very solipsistic. So they can't see what you're doing all the time. And they don't see that you're working, 17-hour days. And so when you're finally sitting down and you're resting, she's just like, oh, he's not helping me around the house. You know what I mean? And so they see you relaxing, watching football, and they're seething mad. They can't stand you sitting there. Okay, but that's just because their solipsistic nature sees that as being lazy. Now imagine that you're not working 17-hour days. You're working your normal 9 to 5. You come home, you're really not doing much. You're not working on your purpose. You're not working on bettering yourself in life. You're just a bump on the log when you're not at work. Women will see that as lazy. And if you're overweight, it subconsciously just amplifies that. Okay, it's a status symbol. Now, a guy who's in shape telegraphs to women that you take things seriously, that you have good discipline, that you have good self-care, that you have drive and ambition, and that you're working towards something. It's a part of your purpose. Okay. It's not just you looking good. It subcommunicates a status. Okay. So let me ask you guys a question. If you're being honest, what's the biggest reason you haven't gotten leaner yet? Now, this is for guys who are a little overweight, and that's like 75% of you guys out there. What's the biggest reason you haven't gotten leaner yet? Okay, let me know in the chat or the comments if you're watching the replay. All right. We got a whole bunch of people in the chat. We've got it's really hard to see people's names. I think this is Phil. All right. Phil says, hola, what's up, man? We have Handsome Pete in the house. He says, hey. Eric Von Erich says, good morning. And let's see here. We've got a guy from Facebook. Woody Riley says, what up, brother? Lost 25 pounds already since my divorce has started, partially due to not being able to eat like I should. I'm back in the gym too. That's great, man. You know what I find fascinating, Woody, is a lot of us wait to lose weight until after the divorce. And why do we do it? It's so that we can have better options on the dating circuit. And then we get into a relationship and then we let ourselves go. Like you should never, ever be in the position where you have to lose 25 pounds again, Woody. Make that promise to yourself. Okay, brother? Erkin's in the house. He says, good day, folks. And he says, we don't understand the ONZ or other nonsense American measurements. What? Oh, that's because we measure things in freedom units, Erkin. Freedom units. Let's see here. Can of Rockstar says, being actually good in the physical realm reinforces the spiritual reality of being good enough, which reinforces your frame and game. Yeah, it comes down to everything. It's mental, spiritual, everything. Yeah, I would agree with that. And by the way, Nurse Chick is in the house here. So Nurse Chick's here. Hey, nurse chick, check this out. Hold on. Check this out.
I'm so naughty.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna come.
Yep. And then guess what, guys?
That pussy must be ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. All right. Can you guys hear that okay? Or do I need to turn the volume up on that? Let me know. For me, it's a little soft. It's a little soft. All right. Fitness, on top of just making you have bigger muscles and not as much fat, okay? It also changes your posture, your gait, and your physical presence, okay? Women read this instantly without even thinking about it. Women are very perceptive of checking out our body language, okay? They're very perceptive of it. So if you're overweight, you're hunched over, and you waddle, you don't walk, you waddle. That's not very attractive to women, okay? Oh, Handsome Pete says it was a little soft. It was soft. All right, I'll have to, if you guys send super chats, I'll have to turn up this volume. Let me see here. Can I, hold on. I'll have to mess with this before the show, I think, next time. Yeah. I'm getting used to Restream. It's slightly different. The whole layout, it's similar to StreamYard, but it's slightly different. All right. But yeah, so it changes your posture, your gait, and your presence. I think a big part of that is when you lose weight and you look good in the mirror and you feel good about how you look and stuff like that, that also creates more confidence, right? And so when you're confident, you naturally walk a little taller. You know, you sort of strut a little bit when you're feeling pretty good. You know what I'm talking about? Weight loss also will give you a testosterone bump, okay? And with that testosterone bump, you have more energy, you're more decisive, you get better outcomes in everything. You get less of the brain fog. You know, one of the brothers in Wolfpack, I'm not going to name names on this one. One of the brothers in Wolfpack, he just had his testosterone levels checked and they were ridiculously low. And so his doctor is referring him to an endocrinologist where they're going to probably put him on a TRT system. And I could tell by the questions he had for me, because he was DMing me about it, that he was a little nervous about getting on TRT and that he might end up being like a roid rage monster. That's not how TRT works. Okay. It's not steroids. It's not like Anabol or something like that. Right. It's a natural occurring hormone in your body. Okay. When a guy is optimal with his T levels, he thinks clearer. He actually has better emotional control. Okay. If you're a guy that's lashing out right now and you're pissed off about everything or whatever, you probably have low T. If you're an emotional guy and you can't get your emotions in check, you probably have low testosterone. And if you're overweight, especially if you're like obese, that's contributing to it. Okay. That's contributing to it. I would highly recommend losing some weight. There was a lady on Facebook the other day who she saw a post I did about dead bedrooms or whatever. I think it was a video TikTok advertising my Get Her to Fuck You Again book. And she goes, well, what happens if the husband's not interested? And the first thing I said was, well, lose some weight. because for most women, your dead bedroom situation's infinitely easier to correct. Okay. It's don't be fat. Don't be an insufferable bitch. Okay. Now, she was like, I'm not fat, okay? I'm only 120 pounds, you son of a bitch. And she's really pissed at me for that. I get it. But I said, okay, well, how did it come up? No, she goes, I'm only 120 pounds, but he's 340 pounds is what she said. And I go, he's 340 pounds. I guarantee he has low testosterone. And if he has low testosterone, he's going to have low sex drive. Okay. So she needs to somehow convince him to go see an endocrinologist, okay, and lose some of that weight, brother. Lose some of that weight, okay? If you're in a relationship right now and you're a very heavy set guy and you just have very low interest in having sex with your girl and that's causing tension in the relationship, it's your testosterone, brother. I guarantee it. It's the fat and the testosterone. It's just everything's just working against you, brother, okay? Now here's something I like to stress, affirmations on the podcast. I'm very big at affirmations. I like doing like sleep affirmations and stuff like that. And you can build a lot of confidence. If you really suffer from confidence issues, you can really fix that with affirmations, self-affirmations, and reprogram your subconscious to have more of that confidence. But confidence also comes from looking good. Okay? Confidence is forged when your body starts proving your mind right. When you drop fat, you're lifting heavier, you're moving faster, these wins stack up. It becomes a positive feedback loop. Okay. And once you start getting these wins and you start dropping those pounds, like once a week, you get on the scale and you're losing 1 or 2 pounds a week, those wins add up and you start carrying yourself differently. You start walking a little bit taller, which goes back to your gait and your presence and all that kind of stuff. That's that kind of confidence women can feel without you even have to say anything. Okay. Women can see this stuff. Going back to how women notice body language, one of my holy trinity of dating books is Atomic Attraction. And there's a study in there where they had women just watching guys interact with no sound on. They had like videos of guys interacting. And one of the things is like women can tell the confident guys just by their body language. Okay. And one of the things in that particular study that they were talking about was guys wearing cologne, making them feel more confident. And so women were like, oh, that guy's wearing cologne. That guy's wearing cologne because he's more confident, you know? Well, the same thing happens when you lose weight. You get more confidence and then your body language changes to be more attractive. And women are hardwired to respond to confidence the same way men are wired to respond to a great pair of tits. It's biological. Okay. It's biological. Speaking of attraction, guys, my book, Keep Your Bitch, it is available for pre-order on Kindle right now. I got that done over the weekend. I got submitted. The paperback hardcover is submitted and it's all ready. And it's going to drop on Black Friday for you to purchase. And I'm working on the audiobook this week. I'm up to chapter 2. I recorded chapter 2 yesterday, and there's so many flubs in chapter 2. It took me like 2 hours to edit it. It's crazy. Anyway, if you guys want a little taste, a little bump of what's in store for this book, check this out. You finally got her back. The spark's alive again. Or you met someone new and everything feels effortless. Right now, anyway. But deep down, you know, most men lose it right after they win it. They stop setting the tone, start coasting, and attraction slowly dies in silence. That's what kills 90% of relationships: complacency. She doesn't stop loving you overnight. She just stops feeling you. And if you think loyalty alone keeps her interested, you're already slipping. Now that you've turned your relationship around with get her to fuck you again, or you moved on and found a real contender after forget that bitch, you need to know how to keep that attraction burning for the long haul. Introducing the next book in the Red Pill Guide series, Keep Your Bitch, coming this December. It's not about saving failing relationships. It's about never letting one fail again. You'll learn how to lead with frame, maintain polarity, and keep her obsessing over you year after year. Because attraction isn't permanent, it's maintained daily. Stay the man she fell for. Stay the man she can't stop thinking about. Keep Your Bitch. Available this December. Damn right, guys. Damn right. You can't hide your shape. You can't. Now, so even if you're on the dating circuit right now and you are overweight and you're trying to hide it, you're not going to hide it. She's going to see you in person. This is one of the things that overweight women just can't get through their heads. They have this idea that if I just meet them in person, then I'm going to charm the shit out of him so much that he's going to fall in love with me. It's like, that's not how it works 99.9% of the time. Okay. Especially on dating apps, right? If you show up to the date and she thinks that she's meeting someone that like, if she has this idea that she's meeting someone and then shows up and she meets this guy that's, 200 pounds bigger, she's not going to want you, man. She's not. Okay. So no haircut, no amount of cologne, no fancy outfits can really cover excess weight. There's all these guys out there that wear baggier clothes, trying to hide how they look and stuff like this. You're not fooling anybody, brother. The best form of peacocking is to be in good shape. The best form of peacocking is like once you're in really good shape, you can wear a burlap sack and chicks will be into you. Okay. Like once you, it's that powerful. All right. Now, like I said before at the beginning of the show, since 75% of dudes are overweight, the bar has never been lower. So you just not being fat makes women, at least give you a second glance. You know what I mean? Ooh, Dar Fitness is in the house. He says, if you're heavy and you jump on TRT, your body will aromatize the exogenous hormones because your body fat is too high. Drop the pounds first. That's good. That's good advice, man. All right. So you can't hide it. You can't hide it. Now, yeah, this is the thing too. Like people will try to hide this shit, right? Like women are really bad about this. If you find, like I talk all about it and everything. I wish I knew as I was 18. I have pictures in there, like the top down shot, you know what I mean? Like, or the just cropped pictures of just their face and stuff like that. Cause a lot of heavyset women have really pretty faces. So they'll just crop their face out and shit. And it's just, that kind of stuff is almost a dead giveaway that they're overweight. Okay. But let's say you fool a chick by using BodyTune or FaceTune or any of those apps or whatever, just like women are doing, using filters and stuff. And then you show up on the date, you're not going to hide it. She's eventually going to see you in person. Okay. So you might as well just do the work and lose the weight. Women are biologically tuned to strength and vitality. Okay. It's hard-coded for survival and reproduction. If you ever read the book, The Unplugged Alpha by Rich Cooper, it's a great book. You know what I mean? Really good book. One of the things he talks about is the golden ratio. The golden ratio when it comes to your shoulder width to your waist. Okay. There's a specific it's been scientifically proven through studies that this measurement, okay, women, it's like a subconscious thing. They hone in on it. So if you have a good V taper, women are drawn to it. They're drawn to it. They can't help it. Okay. It's biology. So if you're a fat guy, your ratio is all off. Okay. You're going to have narrower shoulders and a wider waistline. And that you want the opposite. You want wide shoulders and a narrow waistline. Now, a lot of this is smoke and mirrors. A lot of this is smoke and mirrors. Okay. Like if you could build up your lats and your shoulders, that will help offset that ratio. Why? Like, that's why what a lot of bodybuilders do. Cause a lot of bodybuilders, some of them have guts. Some of them have guts, especially if they've been powerlifting and they're bulking and stuff like that. But women don't notice it as much because they have such big delts and big lats. Okay. So this is why working on your, shoulders, doing lateral arm raises and stuff like that. And, military presses and all that kind of stuff is really good. And also being able to do pull-ups, is really important. Okay. I highly recommend if you can't do one pull-up right now, start working on it. And pull-ups are really hard. Really hard to train, but it's not impossible. Okay. A good way to get started with doing pull-ups is the chair method, where you just stand on a chair and then just hold yourself in a pull-up position as long as you can. And then as it's getting too hard, you slowly lower yourself to the floor. Okay. Do that every day, several times a day for like a couple of weeks, and you'll be able to at least do one pull-up. Right. And then you just want to keep working on that. You can also get resistance bands that add a little bit of tension so you can train for it. And then you just slowly reduce the amount of bands you're using. You can do that. Those are good ways of doing that. Okay. But I highly recommend you start working on doing pull-ups to get those lats going. All right. Plus, you never know when you might need it someday. I mean, what happens if you're in an international espionage situation, you're fighting ninjas, and you have to jump on a moving helicopter, okay? And then you grab onto you grab onto the landing rail of the helicopter. How are you going to get up there to fight the other ninjas? Okay. If you don't know how to do pull-ups, right? Think, guys. Think. All right. I'm just screwing around, guys. You know, you're not fighting ninjas out there. Where are we at here? Yeah. And then, attraction's not a choice. Attraction's not a choice. You can try to convince women to like fatter guys. And there's chicks out there that like fat guys, but usually they're fat women. Okay. Or they're women who aren't fat now, but they want to get fat later. Right. So there's a lot of women out there that'll settle for chubbier guys because they're like, oh, great, I can finally let myself go. Okay. It's not that they're sexually into you. They just want to be lazy themselves. Okay. So I'd be very cautious about chicks like that. That's kind of how Red Pill Chick was. Although the first half of the relationship, she actually was pretty good, pretty much in shape, and she stayed on top of it. But then she just like started letting herself go a little bit near the end of the relationship. So I dodged a bullet there, but I got better. She got fatter. And then now I saw her like last time I saw her was years ago now, but it was probably 2 years after we broke up is the last time I saw her, and she had gained a lot of weight. The best revenge is to live a good life, guys. Okay. And just you look back on them and you go, Jesus Christ, what was I thinking? I don't know. But attraction's not a choice. Okay. So she either feels it or she doesn't. And being fit really does stack the odds in your favor. Okay. Money, muscles, game, and frame. Okay. Muscles, when we talk about money, muscles, game, and frame, that's a really slick slogan, and shout out to MLD for that. But when we talk about muscles, we're talking about just being in general shape. Okay. I'm not out there. I'm not doing 2 hours weightlifting in the gym. I'm not doing that. I prefer doing cardio. If you guys are in the Wolfpack, you'll see me because I'm in the fitness accountability group, and I'm posting my updates just like everyone else. I go for a bike ride for an hour a day. I ride for 10 miles. That's my cardio. And then I probably do about 20 minutes of solid like weight training. And it's just drop sets. I'm just doing drop sets until failure, until like my muscles ache, and 20 minutes is good enough. I have pretty decent muscle definition. You can ask Nurse Chick. She runs her hands all over me all the time. Okay. She will vouch. She will vouch for that. By the way, guys, I am on StreamYard, but I am also still able to get super chats. Hold on. Do I have the super chat thing up here? Oh, I don't have. Yeah. Oh, no, that's not it. Hold on. I need the super chat thing, guys. I am still trying to work on all this kind of stuff. Let's see here. Where is it? That's not it. That's not it. This is it. I need to make sure I have this here. For future episodes. Guys, this is sort of a test stream, by the way. I'm testing you guys out live. Just something I learned in IT, okay? You always test things out in production, okay? That's if you guys get value from these episodes, do consider sending a super chat. I can still accept super chats even though I'm on Restream now. So women, it's funny. Women will tell people that I don't really care about looks. I don't really care about looks. They'll say stuff like, I want a guy who's kind, intelligent, or a guy who's funny. Okay. That's true. But only after looks past the threshold test. Okay. If you guys ever read How to Be a 3% Man, one of the things that Corey Wayne says in there is when women say, oh, looks don't matter to me. Looks don't matter to me. And you point out some fat guy at the end of the bar to that chick and go, yeah, would you go out with that guy? And they'll go, oh no, he's not my type. Well, how do you know if he's your type or not if you haven't gone up and talked to him? Because all the things about kindness, intelligence, and humor require you to talk to him first. So that tells me that you do care about looks. Lady, you lying liar. Like women say that kind of stuff, not because it's true, but because they don't want to be judged for being a shallow bitch, right? Women are wired for being, for having a good reputation with the tribe. Women want to be accepted by the tribe. So they will say stuff that makes people feel good, even though it's not necessarily true. Okay. So women, they might want those things, kindness, intelligence, humor, sure, but they have to be sexually attracted to you first. Okay. Women don't fuck a man they get to know. They get to know a man they want to fuck. Okay. Understand that. Write that down. Now, even average looking guys become above average attractive with a lean, strong body. Okay. That's how much weight changes the equation. And this is the thing too. A lot of these, these actual incel guys, well, I should say self-proclaimed incel guys. Okay. Self-proclaimed incel guys always talk about why they're genetically at a disadvantage. They're too short. They're bald or whatever. And the thing is, for the last 3 years, I've been doing a bald experiment. I've been shaving my head. I'm not actually bald. Okay. I'm growing my hair out. All right. I'm growing my hair out. It looks really ugly right now. That's why I've got the hat on. But the reveal is going to blow your mind. Okay. I'm here to tell you that all that stuff is bullshit. Okay. All that stuff is bullshit. It's all just excuses. It's all self-limiting beliefs. Okay. But I will tell you this, if you are overweight and you're complaining about women not liking you and you're a self-proclaimed incel, lose the fucking weight. Okay. It matters that much. You'll have much better options. Okay. Now, a lot of the self-proclaimed incels, it's not that they can't get a girl if they just match, if they stay in their lane and they looks match, right? So maybe they're 300 pounds and they get with a 300-pound girl. Thing is, they don't want those 300-pound girls. They want these hot baddies. Okay. Well, if you want a hot baddie, you gotta lose some weight and get in shape. Okay. Hot baddies don't go for big fat guys typically. Okay. They go for other hot baddies. Now, if you're not 6 feet tall, that's okay. Just work on what you can. Control the controllable. What you can control is how much you weigh and how much you work out in the gym. And women just really want a guy that's taller than them anyway. That 6 foot thing is arbitrary. Women don't even know how to measure half the time. They're not walking around with a tape measure, certainly. Okay. So just lose the weight, work on what you can, and find a girl that's 5 feet tall. Okay. If you're 5 feet tall, find a girl that's 4 or 5. All right. Whatever. There's always a shorter girl. Let's see here. Oh, and so we talked about this before, right? If you lose, oh, wait, hold on. That's not where where are we at here? Hold on. Somehow I think I've got my notes all screwed up here. No, I had it here. So if weight loss is a testosterone bump. So on the going back to testosterone, the problem with being overweight when we're talking about hormones is it raises your estrogen levels too. That's where you're going to get bitch tits. Okay. That's where you're going to get moobs. Okay. Man boobs. You're going to get man boobs because you're overweight and you're producing a lot of extra estrogen. You have a lot of fat there and it's just going to go into your chest area. Okay. It's chemical. It's chemical. And when you have a lot of estrogen, you're more emotional, all this kind of stuff. All right. Women want guys that have a lot of testosterone. It's like they can smell the testosterone. It's like an aphrodisiac. Okay. If you don't have if you have low T and high estrogen, you're just going to be repelling women. Okay. You're just repelling them. They can sense this sort of thing. If you guys need help with any of this, like I said before, we do have a fitness subgroup, a fitness accountability subgroup. And we also have my man Dar here, right? So Dar Fitness, he's like our resident fitness coach. Now, he's in the group because he's leveling himself up, okay? He's not doing this stuff for free, but he does offer a lot of free advice. But if you want to work with him, you can connect with him in the Wolfpack, okay? But if this is something that you're struggling with, I highly recommend you run with the Wolves, brother. It's only $10 a month. Bear Club? Not anymore.
Wolfpack, you fix what's broken. You lead like a man again. No pity, no therapy. Just fire, just flame. Cold bed, broken home, midlife drift, feeling alone. You don't need hacks, blogs, lies. You need men with fire in their eyes. We rebuild from the ground up. No excuses, no soft stuff. Telegram lit 24/7. Brothers locked in, steel, not heaven. Step inside the past.
All right. You know what I'm not liking about Restream is with these, like, you play these videos on StreamYard, I can toggle my mic on and off and I can talk over this stuff. Like when these videos play on Restream, I can't do that shit. I had to on the opening, because I always say it's true, it's damn true. I usually say that on the mic. Well, because I can't do that, I had to edit that out or edit that in for this show. Anyway, just a little behind the scenes baseball. Fit men, did you guys know that fit men are less anxious? Do you suffer from anxiety? Okay. You can't be in your head when your body is dialed in, because you project calm and control. And on top of that, going to the gym is like some of the best therapy a guy can do. Going to the gym for men is better than going to a therapist. It's better. There's studies out here that show that, like, it's better for men to take action with stuff than it is to be talking about your problems and never actually doing anything about it. That's how women deal with their problems. They sort of just want to emote and see how their words impact their feelings, and they never solve anything. But guys, if they go and knock stuff out and they work on something and they make something their mission, when we often talk about this space, you have to have a purpose in life. Okay. You have to act with intention. You have to get up in the morning and have goals and stuff like that. Gym is a part of that. Okay. Gym or fitness, whatever you want to do. You don't always have to go lift heavy. In the red pill space, it's always like, okay, it's heavy lift 5x5s, whatever. Like, you can do that. That's an option. You can do drop sets. I love drop sets. You can do, 3 sets of 10. Like, there's all sorts of different ways that work. Okay. You can just do a lot of cardio. If you don't like running, you don't like going biking, but maybe you like playing racquetball or some shit, like, do something physical that causes you to sweat. All right. Any of that stuff is good. Any of it's good. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Now, some people will be like, well, I don't know, the weightlifting and the testosterone. Stop it. Okay. Just don't be fat. But if you're an anxious person, you suffer with a lot of anxiety, and you're overweight, stop thinking about it. Okay. Thinking causes anxiety, but action cures it. So go to the gym, set a goal for yourself, and start doing this stuff daily. Okay. Let's see here. Some of this stuff is, going back to status. Okay. My notes are like all don't make sense here. Going back to status, women like men because of what it subcommunicates when it comes to the gym. Okay. When a guy who's fit, it implies that you have focus, ambition, leadership, and standards. These are all attractive qualities. We talk about in the space, be attractive, don't be unattractive. Okay. Be attractive is, muscles and not being fat. That would be physical attractiveness. That's be attractive, but don't be unattractive is these other things that women pick up: focus, ambition, leadership. These are all traits that women find attractive, and it's in your behavior and your demeanor. This is like just subcommunication that women pick up naturally, okay, that they find attractive. And so when you're physically fit, it's not just the physical appearance that they're seeing. They're seeing all the stuff behind it, all the stuff that it takes to have a body like that. Okay. And then you have more social proof. Okay. When you look good, people treat you differently, and women notice how others react to you. This is why dread game works. Dread game works because you're in a long-term relationship and you're taking advantage of the preselection and social proof. Okay. But it works just as well on the dating circuit. When women can see that other women are responding to you, women are naturally drawn to men that other women like. Okay. This is one of the reasons why, if you guys ever watch like old pro wrestling and stuff like that, you'd watch old Ric Flair entrances, and he would always have women on all of his arms and stuff like that. And now, one, he was being a heel, and he was putting out this persona of this millionaire playboy. Okay. That really was Ric Flair. That's what he did, though. But the thing is that women in the audience loved Ric Flair, And a lot of it was because of the presentation and him having extra women on his arms and stuff like that. The pre-selection, women are just hardwired for that sort of thing. Okay. By the way, guys, follow me on social media. The links are in the description. I'm on all the good platforms except for X right now. There is a slim possibility that I'm not permanently banned. It's just a temporary ban. I'm not sure yet. So I've got a calendar reminder to check here at the end of the next month. I saw a guy on Facebook yesterday saying that he got suspended from X too, but it was only for a week. And he was able to get back on there. And I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe my ban will be lifted tomorrow because I got banned on a Thursday. So maybe my ban will be lifted tomorrow. I don't know. I got a calendar reminder to check in a month, though. Otherwise, follow me on all the other platforms. As an alternative, I've been messing around on Threads lately. So you can follow me on Threads, but really, I basically just pump and dump on Threads. Follow me on Instagram. That's much better. You know, fitness forces you to fix your diet and your routines. Okay. That discipline bleeds into how you show up in life. Okay. The funny thing is about the gym is it requires discipline to stay consistent because you're not always going to feel like working out. Some days you're going to be like, I'm so tired or I'm so hungover or whatever. And you're not going to want to go to the gym. But if you have discipline, you'll go anyway. Even if you don't work out as hard as you normally would, but you go there anyway and at least do something, that discipline will carry you through that. But that habit of discipline will become a new paradigm and it'll start showing up in other areas of your life. You'll start looking at your work and instead of putting stuff off that you don't want to do, you'll go, I don't want to do it, but I got to do it. Okay. You'll start developing that kind of discipline. It bleeds over into every area of your life. Okay. So making the habit of going to the gym fixes a lot of problems for guys. It fixes probably, like if you have a lot of problems right now and you got a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, you have women problems, you got health problems, all this kind of stuff, like going to the gym fixes a lot of that stuff. It's pretty fascinating. Okay. And women are attracted to momentum. Okay. When you're improving your body, it signals that you're building in other areas too. And this is one of the big things that I really address in Keep Your Bitch. Okay. So the goal of Keep Your Bitch is you finally found a girl that you think is worthwhile and you want to keep her for the long term, whatever that looks like for you. Okay. You don't want to fuck this up. You've had lots of other relationships that have ended terribly. And now you have a good one and you want to make sure you don't mess this up. Well, one of the big things that I try to drive home in this is that you always have to be a man on a mission. You always have to be working towards something. You always have to have goals and ambition for something because that's what keeps women interested for the long term. As soon as you get complacent and you start resting on your laurels and you're like, I already got her and I don't have to do anything anymore. And I'm not talking about taking her on dates and all this kind of stuff because that stuff is nice. But what she really wants to see is that you're always working towards getting to the next level. And it's like you're working on 1% better every day. You're always pushing for something. Okay. Women love that shit. They love that ambition. Women can smell ambition like sharks smell blood. This is why a lot of these self-proclaimed incel guys are like, oh, I don't make six figures. I couldn't possibly talk to women. It's not the money. It's not the money. It's just like you losing weight. It signals other things. You having money signals competence. It signals that you know how to acquire resources. It signals that you're ambitious. You know what I mean? Like if you just work at the gas station, that doesn't signal ambition very much. Okay. But if you are if you're working at a gas station, but you're also going to college and you're studying all the time, that signals ambition. Women like that. Okay. They don't care about the gas station because they know that you're working towards something better. They like that you're seeing a guy have drive. Okay. So that sort of thing, women are attracted to that when it comes to the gym too. If they can see that you're working towards a fitness goal, they love that. They love guys that aren't just standing still. They like guys that are movers and shakers. Okay. And it shows up in lots of different areas and has very little to do with like money and stuff. Okay. It's more about the drive and ambition. And by the way, if you guys want to learn how to do this in a long-term relationship, the Passive Dread Blueprint really goes into depth on that. Go to dread.fixdeadbedroom.com, especially if you're in a long-term relationship and things have just been bad for a long time. This will help you get back on track and get to a place where your woman's noticing you again. Okay. And a lot of it, it sounds terrible, but a lot of it's just dark psychology. A lot of it is you using a lot of this stuff to your advantage, the preselection, all that kind of stuff. And you're not even doing anything bad. That's what I love about Passive Dread is you can make this a habit and you can become the game. Okay. That's really what we're teaching in the Passive Dread Blueprint. Okay. I also have a link to the Passive Dread Blueprint in Keep Your Bitch, because Passive Dread is something that you have to do in order to keep your woman interested. And a lot of it is just the same stuff that you were doing when you were an attractive guy when she first met you. Okay. It's not evil unless you make it evil. Okay. All right. Now, what's really cool is for guys that have lost weight, it becomes a story to tell. Okay. And women love stories. Women love guys that can tell stories. Now, one of the things that I often tell guys too is to be a mystery. Okay. Don't just give stuff away. Make women dig shit out of you. Okay. But if you get a woman that really is fascinated by like, oh, you're such in good shape. Were you always in good shape and stuff like that? And you get her to pull that out of you, when you can tell a good transformation story, she'll be drawn into that sort of thing. Okay. So going from this fat, flabby guy to lean, okay, she's going to really, a lot of women are going to be inspired by that kind of stuff. And that's going to draw them in towards you more. You become more magnetic with cool stories of transformational journeys. People relate to that sort of thing. You'll build a lot of rapport that way. It'll be good. So after giving you a million reasons why your body might be killing you on the dating circuit and why you need to turn things around, I'm going to challenge you guys. Okay. For you guys that are overweight and you've been struggling on the dating apps, I'm going to close with a challenge. What would your dating life look like if you could cut the excuses, drop the fat, and own your image? Okay. What would your dating life look like if you could do that? I want you to think about that. And then I want you to take some action. Okay. I want you guys to actually get out there and start losing some weight. All right. Stop making the excuses. What's this? No one wants to get off a moving train. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's a good analogy there. Dar Fitness says, being active is what matters. Get in the gym, do what you like to do. 2 + 2 = 4, but so does 1 + 3. Yeah, there you go. Ooh, God damn. You got some zingers today, brother. Dividend Gypsy says, thanks for reminding me to jump back into the Wolfpack. I returned from Germany earlier than originally planned. I'm jumping back in. Oh, it would be good to see you in there, man. And let's see here. All right, cool. That's hide that one. All right, that's pretty much all I got for this episode, guys. I hope you guys found some value in it, and hopefully you guys have some reasons to maybe go check out the gym today. You don't have to go to a gym either. Okay, I have I talk about it in this book. I have a mini course on it. If you go to fit.comeonmanpod.com, you can take the mini course. It's like $25. You can do calisthenics at home. Okay. I'm trying to eliminate all excuses for you guys. Okay. You don't need to go to the gym. You don't need to spend money on gym memberships. You just need to have a routine. Okay. You can, there's really only 4 exercises you need to have some muscle definition. Okay. You have push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, and squats. Right. And then otherwise add some cardio in there, like running or biking or something like that. And you're going to be good as long as you just count your calories and lose some of that weight. Okay. You don't have to make this complicated. I used to have a gym membership largely just to get out of the house and meet chicks and stuff like that. So I don't really need that anymore because I have a home gym in my garage. I have one of those like all-in-one Gold's Gym fitness machines where you can do a whole bunch of different exercises. I have a power tower in my garage. Nurse chick, maybe a year after us dating, she bought this like really expensive dumbbell set that goes in my garage that, has adjustable weights on it and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. And then in my bedroom, I have a total gym. And so like in the wintertime, I like to work out my total gym, which is a lot of body weight stuff. It's just at different incline levels, and I can do drop sets on that. I can work my entire body on that total gym. And it's a knockoff total gym too. It's not even a real total gym. I got it on Temu. I think I got it for like less than $100. You know what I mean? Like you could buy some of this stuff to have in your house, and for the cost of a gym membership, it'll pay for itself in a couple of months. You know what I mean? So I really want to eliminate excuses for you guys. Stop making excuses and start losing that weight. Okay. I highly recommend it. If you're floundering on the dating circuit and you're frustrated, it will help. It will help immensely. It will be like, you won't even know what planet you landed on. Okay. All right. That's all I got. Tune into the podcast on Friday. Instead of just lecturing you guys, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my own transformation story. I'm also testing something with the algorithm with that episode too. So I won't tell you guys what it is because I don't want to ruin it, but I'm going to tell you guys how I rewired my mind to think like a leader. Okay. It should make for a pretty fun Frame Friday episode because it's story time with Paul Bebe, and those are usually pretty fun. But that's all I got for this episode. Hold on. Where is this at? Here we go. That's all I got for this episode, guys. We will see you guys on the live stream on Friday.
This has been the Come On Man podcast. Now, go out and get it.